शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनि नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा मा गृधः कस्य स्विद्धनम्। So welcome everyone once again to the class on Sri Ishopanishad. We are done with mantra 4 so far. So in mantra 4 we came to know about the qualities of the absolute truth, the inconceivable qualities. So we were discussing that person who follows Ishavasya Siddhanta principle of accepting everything as Krishna's property and using only what is required for one's maintenance, that person evolves in consciousness. And this evolution in consciousness helps that person to see things in a different light, everything. So his perception of Bhagavan also changes, how he looks at Bhagavan, how he looks at absolute truth, how he understands absolute truth. So there is a change in that as well. So this is what um, we heard, we are able to understand. And then mantra 4 to 8 talk about his perception of absolute truth. Fine, so let's go to mantra number 5. Same kind of message, similar kind of message is given here about the Lord's inconceivable nature. Tat ejati tannai jati Taddure tadvantike tadantar asya sarvasya tadho sarvasyasya bahayataha tad ejati. Tad means that. So that here refers to the absolute truth. Tad ejati, walks. So tad ejati means he walks. Tan na ejati, he does not walk. Tad dure, he is far. Tad u antike is very near as well. Tad antar asya sarvasya, he is inside everything and everyone. Tadu sarvasyasya bahayataha, and yet he is outside of everything. So simple translation. The Lord walks, does not walk, is far, he's near. He's within everything, he's without everything. So opposite qualities. These opposite qualities cannot be in a material object because a material object cannot be simultaneously far and near, inside and outside, right? It's not possible. But in spiritual, uh, you can say objects or spiritual truths, opposite qualities they reconcile. And that is because of that nature of spiritual element. Hmm. So that's what is being explained here. So Lord has inconceivable potencies, and because of these potencies, he is not so easily understandable. He is not knowable. Hmm. Okay. So there are three things, right? Walk, doesn't walk, far, near, inside, outside. The whole purport is going to talk about these three things. Uh, First, we read the paragraph 1. Here is a description of some of the Supreme Lord's transcendental activities executed by his inconceivable potencies. The contradictions given here prove the inconceivable potencies of the Lord. He walks and he does not walk. Ordinarily, if someone can walk, it is illogical to say he cannot walk. But in reference to God, such a contradiction simply serves to indicate his inconceivable power. With our limited fund of knowledge, we cannot accommodate such contradictions. And therefore, we conceive of the Lord in terms of our limited powers of understanding. For example, the impersonalist philosophers uh, of Mayavad school accept only the Lord's impersonal activities and reject his personal feature. But the members of the Bhagavad school, adopting the perfect conception of the Lord, accept his inconceivable potencies and thus understand that he is both personal and impersonal. The Bhagavatas know that without inconceivable potencies, there can be no meaning to the words Supreme Lord. So these verses are very useful in defeating Mayavad. That's why Srila Prabhupada is pointing out to that in the purport. Next paragraph. Suresh Kumar Rabaji, please read.
Hare Krishna. We should not take it for granted that because we cannot see God with our eyes, the Lord has no personal existence. Sri Ishopanishad refutes this argument by declaring that the Lord is far away but very near also. The abode of the Lord is beyond the material sky, and we have no means to measure even the material sky. If the material sky extends so far, then what to speak of the spiritual sky, which is altogether beyond it? That is, the spiritual sky is situated far, far away from the material universe, is confirmed in the Bhagavad-gita 15.6. But despite the Lord's being so far away, he can at once, within less than a second, descend before us with a speed swifter than that of the mind or wind. He can also run so swiftly that no one can surpass him. This has already been described in the previous mantra. Can I continue, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. It's a very simple paragraph, and it talks about how the Lord is seen through the different activities that he invisibly performs, right? And because he is faster than the wind or mind, he can reach anywhere very quickly. So he walks. Let's read the next paragraph. Radha Braja Sundari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dhanvat. Yet, when the personality of Godhead comes before us, we neglect him. Such foolish negligence is condemned by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, where he says that the foolish deride him, considering him a mortal being. He is not a mortal being, nor does he come before us with a body produced of material nature. There are many so called scholars who contain that the Lord descend in a body made of matter, just like an ordinary living being. Not knowing his inconvincible power, such foolish men place the Lord on an equal level with ordinary men.
Thank you, Mataji. So these are very basic arguments which are given to refute Mayavad philosophy. We'll be discussing them later. Let's just read now the next paragraph. Sarveshwar Jagannath Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat. Because he is full of inconceivable potencies, God can accept our service through any sort of medium, and he convert his different potencies according to his own will. Non-believers argue either that Lord cannot incarnate himself at all, or that if he does, he descends in the form of material energy. These arguments are nullified if we accept the existence of Lord's inconceivable present potential. Then we will understand that even if the Lord appears before us in the form of material energy, it is quite possible for him to convert this energy into spiritual energy. Since the source of these energies is one and the same, the energies can be utilized according to the will of their source. For example, the Lord appears in the form of Archivigraha, a deity supposed to be made of earth, stone, or wood. Deity form, although engraved from wood, stone, and other matter, not idol, so the iconolist contended. Iconolist contended. In our present state of perfect material existence, we cannot see Supreme Lord due to imperfect vision. Yet, those devotees who want to see him by means of material vision are favored by the Lord, who appears in so-called material form to accept his devotees' service. One should not think that such devotees who are in the lowest stage of devotional service are worshipping an idol. They are actually worshipping the Lord, who has agreed to appear before them in an approachable way, nor is the archa from passion according to the whims of the worshipper. This form is eternally existence with the paraphernalia, with all paraphernalia. This can be actually felt by sincere devotees, but not by the atheists.
Thank you, Prabhu. So an example is being given here of Archa Vigraha, the deity form of Krishna. That form is very close to us. We can touch it, we can bathe it, right? We can dress it. So because of his inconceivable potency, he is able to come in such a form, right? He is able to accept such a form. Otherwise, how would it be possible? But his inconceivable potencies make it possible. Wow. So the Archa Vigraha is the mercy manifestation of Krishna. Through his potency, he does that. So whatever we give to the Archa Vigraha, it's personally going to him, right? And therefore, those Archa Vigrahas are not idols. The word idol is wrong. Many times, even devotees use this word idol for deity, but it's wrong terminology. The actual word is deity. Idol is used for any statue. It can be of a human being, it can be of an animal, you know. So that word was actually used by the Britishers for the deities in India. because they thought this is just like we have the idol of Jesus Christ and the idol of this and that. Hmm? So deity is different. Mm, it's the eternal form of the Lord, which is being presented through a material element, but the form is eternal, isn't it? We are not inventing some or imagining some form of Krishna. The scriptures very nicely describe how Krishna looks like, and then we use a material element to m- make a look-alike form. So that's why that is not then idol worship. This is explained by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in a very nice article. So this is actually Archa Vigraha Upasana. Now, we'll read the next paragraph. Read the next paragraph. Niyati Mataji.
Hare Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita 4.11, the Lord says that how he treats his devotee depends on the devotee's degree of surrender. The Lord reserves the right not to reveal himself to anyone and everyone, but to show himself only to those souls who surrender unto him. Thus, for the surrendered soul, he is always within reach, whereas for the unsurrendered soul, he is far, far away and cannot be approached. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Next paragraph. Sudevi Krishna Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. In this connection, two words are revealed. Scriptures often apply to the Lord. Saguna with qualities and Nirguna without qualities are very important. The word Saguna does not imply that when the Lord appears with perceivable qualities, he must take on a material form, and he is subject to the law of material nature. For him, there is no difference between the material and spiritual energies because he is the source of all energies. As the controller of all energies, he cannot at any time be under their influence as we are. The material energy works according to his directions, therefore, he can use that energy for his purposes without ever being influenced by any of the qualities of that energy. In the sense, he is nirguna, without qualities. Nor does the Lord become a formless entity at any time, for ultimately he is the eternal form, the primal Lord. His impersonal aspect or Brahman effulgence is but the glow of his personal rays, just as the sun's rays are the glow of the sun god. Hare Krishna.
Next paragraph. Manoranjan Rachana Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. When the child Saint Prahlad Maharaj was in the presence of his atheist father, his father asked him, "Where is your God?" When Prahlad replied that God resides everywhere, the father angrily asked whether his God was within one of the pillars of the palace, and the child said yes. At once the atheist king shattered the pillar in front of him to pieces, and the Lord instantly appeared as Narsimha, the half lion, half man, half lion incarnation, and killed the atheist king. Thus the Lord is within everything, and he creates everything by his different energies. Through his inconceivable powers, he can appear at any place in order to favor his sincere devotees. Lord Narsimha appeared from within the pillar not by the order of atheist king but by the wish of his devotee Prahlada. An atheist cannot order the Lord to appear, but the Lord will appear anywhere and everywhere to show mercy to his devotee. The Bhagavad Gita 4.8 similarly states that the Lord appear in order to vanquish non-believers and protect believers. Of course, the Lord has sufficient energy and agents who can vanquish atheists, but it pleases him to personally favor a devotee. Therefore, he descends as an incarnation. Actually, he descends only to favor his devotees and not for any other purpose. Should I continue, bro?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Next paragraph. Saravanan Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu. In the Brahma Samhita 5.35, it is said that Govinda, the primeval Lord, enters everything by his plenary portion. He enters the universe as well as all the atoms of the universe. He is outside in his Virat form, and he is within everything as Anartyami. As Anartyami, he witnesses everything that is going on, and he awards as the results of our action as karma pala. We ourselves may forget what we have done in previous lives, but because the Lord witness our actions, the results of our actions are always there, and we have to undergo the reactions nonetheless. The fact is that there is nothing but God within and without. Everything is a manifestation of His different energies, like the heat and light emanating from a fire. And in this way, there is a oneness among His diverse energies. Although there is oneness, however, the Lord in His personal form still enjoys unlimitedly all the pleasures enjoyed minutely by the tiny part and parcel living entities. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I'll quickly revise the purport once again, looking at it minutely and then discussing some points. So this is the verse mantra that we are discussing. As I mentioned, there are three things here, three characteristics. One is about his walking and not walking, other is about his physical distance, is far or is near, and the other thing is he's inside and outside. So an explanation is given for each one of them, right? So the first one is walking and not walking. So here, those people who are atheistic, they bring up some challenging questions. They say God is illogical because there are many things here as we read are illogical. And how do we deal with such kind of challenging questions? People will not believe these statements. They will say, this is only some kind of fancy fairy tale, some imaginative truth, but it's not reality. How is it possible? Ordinarily, if someone can walk, it is illogical to say he cannot walk. So, for this reason, Srila Jiva Goswami, he has explained very well that God is not illogical, but is translogical. Translogical means he is beyond the mundane logic. Logic is not an absolute entity. Everyone's logic varies. My logic is different from your logic. What I see as logical, you might see as completely illogical. So he says that God is not illogical, but God is beyond our logic. The way we can think. What is logic? If someone talks about logic so much, you can ask that person, what is logic? Logic is also one kind of inference. Inference means anuman. You remember three things: pratyaksha, shabda, and anuman. So logic is also anuman. You are assuming, that this is how it should be, and that is because of my past experience, isn't it? Correct? Like, to give you an example, if someone tells that yeah, there's an animal which walks with the hands and not the legs. Let's say someone says something like that. And I have never seen an animal like that. I have only seen an animal which walks using the legs. So then I'll say your statement is illogical. So, but this logic of an animal walking through the legs is only my experience, isn't it? I have seen such animals, and therefore I said this is logical, and what you say is illogical. But what if there are animals like that who can walk using their hands, and I have not seen them? So then that statement is not illogical anymore. Correct? So anything we hear about God, it is translogical. Logic can neither prove the existence of God and also it cannot disprove the existence of God. And, both the ways. It can also not disprove. Logic can help us understand the subject matter to some extent, but not fully understand it. That is also very true. By logic, we can only understand to some extent, not fully understand it. Right? Um, and the third thing is logic doesn't help us experience, it only helps us analyze. There's a difference between analyzing and experiencing. So, logic can only help us analyze, but not really experience. Therefore, truth based on logic or statements based on logic are not perfect statements. Right? So, this is regarding walks or does not walk. Now, the next is far and near. So, Lord is very far. How is he very far? He's in the spiritual world. It is quite far, performing pastimes. So, he is far, right? Beyond the limits of the vast material sky. Also, he is far in this way that if I am not surrendered, then he is far for me. Ye yatha mam prapatyante. Right? If I don't surrender to him, then he is far. And near, if I surrender, is very near. Correct? Moreover, Paramatma is also very, very near, closest to us. He can come down, though he's far. Why is he near? Because he can come within a second to wherever we are. Isn't it? Archa Vigraha is the example of that. And for the surrendered souls, it's very near. So now regarding Archa, someone may say, is not the material form of the deity limiting the Lord? This is an argument mostly given by people belonging to Abrahamic religions. They talk like this, that if you are giving a form to Bhagavan, are you not limiting Bhagavan? Right? Many Muslims, they speak like this, that you are limiting Allah by giving a form to Allah. So is the deity form not limiting the Lord, the material form of the deity? What is the answer? The answer is he appears in a seemingly unlimited form, but that doesn't mean that he becomes limited. He remains unlimited, which means the power within him is huge, but he has shrunken that power, brought it to a smaller level for us. So the example is given, very beautiful example. An elephant sitting down to let the child pat it or sit upon it. Right? The elephant, whether he's standing or sitting, is the same powerful an elephant. But when the child wants to sit upon the elephant sits down. That doesn't make the elephant any less or small. Similarly, the deity form of the Lord is, you can say, a customized form for conditioned souls, because they cannot approach him in his eternal form. They cannot see his eternal form. They cannot hear his eternal form. And if you talk about Vishwarupa, then Vishwarupa is too big to serve as a deity, isn't it? So then he customizes himself and comes in a small form. That's the deity form. Correct. So in that way, he is very, very near because he comes in deity form. Another challenging question might be here that if the deity is the same as the Lord, then why sometimes the deity has to go through so many, catastrophes, like Muslims attacking the temples, destroying the deities, defacing the deities, and so many such things happen. So then why cannot the deity protect itself, or deity take revenge, or deity teach them a good lesson? So people will also question something like that. So we can give them answer that in many instances the deity did that happened, no doubt. That he doesn't want to. He
Prabhuji, we cannot hear you.
You cannot hear me?
Your voice is
It was
breaking,
coming and
Prabhuji.
going.
Breaking, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, it is
Since,
getting cut in between.
It's breaking.
since when you are not
Yeah,
hearing
from
me?
just now, Prabhuji, from the time you started talking about the DT.
Which
You,
means 2
it,
minutes.
Yes, last 1 minute, 2 minutes.
when you started talking, now why DT can't protect itself that time?
Okay. So people, they say if the deity is God, why it cannot protect itself? Examples of Muslims attacking temples, destroying the deities, defacing them, things like that. So we can tell them, yes, there are examples of the deity protecting also. But at sometimes it doesn't. Why it doesn't? Because it's not affected by it. If I destroy the deity or someone destroys the deity, is it that God is killed because of that? Or God is dead because of that? That understanding is very poor understanding, isn't it? So he came into that form, and he's free to leave that form anytime he likes, isn't it? He's not affected by it. So still, why he does not always protect? Because he has not come in that form to do such activities. Krishna comes in the deity form to accept seva, not to kill the miscreants or punish the miscreants. For punishing them, Sudarshan Chakra is there already, isn't it? So he comes in the form of a deity out of mercy so that his devotees can serve him. So it's the responsibility of the devotees to protect him, not him to protect himself. Now, when he comes in the form of deity or Acha Vigraha, the devotee should protect him. The devotee should care for him. That's why he has come. Otherwise, what is the need for him to come in that form? Right? So if such things happen, then we can't put the blame on Bhagavan. Then it's the responsibility of the devotees to take care of the deity and keep the place clean and all those things. Okay. Now regarding deity, there is a very nice explanation by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. 3 levels of vision. So this is a bit technical, but it is good to understand. So what is meant by this? People see things with different perception. So he talks about these 3 types of perception. So first he says Jalamaya. Vision is Jalamaya. You understand Jala? Jala means matter. So material vision. Right? Then the next is Manomaya. And then the third is Chinnamaya. So when people say deity is idol, it's a stone, then what is their vision? Which of these 3 is their vision?
Jadamaya.
Jadamaya. Yeah, it's material, right? It is stone, so it can be broken, correct? Or it can be destroyed. That's called Jadamaya. So they see the deity as dead. So once a devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, why is the deity not behaving like a person? It looks like dead. So then Srila Prabhupada said, actually, the deity is very much alive. You are dead. So you cannot see the deity's aliveness. So the deity is very much alive, but you are dead. So that is one kind of perception. And the next is Manomaya. Manomaya means in your mind, you see the deity as a person. It's different from Chinmaya. Chinmaya is the vision of real devotees or pure devotees. So Chinmaya means absolute. The deity is Bhagavan. Not that the deity is a, a replica of Bhagavan. No, the deity is Bhagavan. Right? This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught. That this Archa Vigraha is not, you can say, an image of Krishna. It is Krishna. Hmm. So that is called Chinmaya Drishti. And when our consciousness becomes pure, then the deity can also reciprocate with us like that, isn't it? There are so many such stories. The deity can talk, the deity can have fun with you, the deity can tease you, deity can do so many things, right? Like there's a story, very interesting story. In Odisha, once a movie director, he made a movie on Jayadev Goswami. You all heard about Jayadev Goswami, right? Gita Govinda, Dashavatara Stotra, written by him. So Jayadev Goswami is a very famous devotee, and Mahaprabhu used to love hearing the writings of Jayadev Goswami. So this person, it is something like 100 years old, or maybe some 60, 70 years old story, incident, real incident. So a movie was made on Jayadev Goswami, a very nice movie. So in Odisha, in one small village, this movie was being shown in a theater, a cinema hall. So in that village, there is a deity of Gaurang Mahaprabhu. It is still there, very famous deity. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is alone. So it was a night show, and it is said that the deity Mahaprabhu went personally to watch the movie. You know, so at night the deity was gone, was not in the altar. So how did they come to know? In the when the movie got over, so it was time actually. It was because this movie became very famous, so they were running many shows. So practically 24 hours the movie was being shown. So this was a very late night show. It started around 11:30, 12 o'clock, and it finished on time just for Mangal Aarti. So in the movie, uh, for the
Your
Mangal
voice is going and coming again.
Aarti, voice is not coming in.
Means it
Now
is going coming.
it's okay. So then Mahaprabhu rushed back to the temple so that the pujari does not get the shock of his life. Where is the deity gone? And then in the hurry, he forgot his uttariya on the chair in the cinema hall. So when he went back, the pujari noticed that things don't look normal here. So he also found the uttariya missing. So he asked the Lord, what has happened? Something has happened. Where is your uttariya gone? I remember I put it around you and now it's not there. So then Mahaprabhu told that pujari, actually I went to watch this movie on Jayadev Goswami, you know, and my uttariya is still in the cinema hall. So he rushed back to the cinema hall and he found that uttariya on that seat. So when the when the when the hall owner he came to know about this incident, so then he put that seat as reserved forever. No one else can sit on this seat. It is reserved for Mahaprabhu. Wherever he likes, he can come and watch the movie. This is a true story. And now that Mahaprabhu is very famous all over the world because of this incident, so he keeps on traveling. He doesn't stay in the temple anymore. People keep on inviting him and he goes around. So many such things happen. So, there are incidents like that. So many incidents where the deity can actually behave like a person. Hmm. So that is Chinmaya. But then in between is Manomaya. What is Manomaya? So Manomaya means in your mind you have made an assumption that yes, this deity is Krishna. Huh? It's like a symbol. Okay, Krishna is like this kind of thing. So that's called Manomaya. But it's not that Krishna is like this. Krishna is this. That is the actual understanding. So Krishna is like this. That is called Manomaya. And that is not spiritual vision. That is again mundane vision. And it is based on some emotions, right? It's just based on some material emotions. So that is called symbolism. You understand symbolism? So symbolism, like for example, a country is known by its flag. That is symbolism, isn't it? Right? People have strong emotions attached to the flag. Correct? In fact, it is an offense if someone destroys the flag, tears the flag, then that person is punishable, actually, isn't it? Will be put into jail. So if you mistreat the flag, it's like mistreating the country. But then, is there any actual relationship between the flag and the country? Is it? No, it
Yes.
is only something which is assumed. Correct?
A token of respect.
Yeah. Please try to understand the question. So it is something which is assumed. There is no relationship between the flag and the country. It is an assumption. So today, let's say the country has a particular flag. After 200 years, the flag may change. The design, the colors may change. So it is only an assumption. It's a relationship which has been assumed by the mind. Okay, this is the flag related to the country, so I should respect the flag. But the flag has got no connection to the country. Right? No connection. If someone destroys the flag, that doesn't mean that the country gets destroyed. Correct? Isn't it? So this is basically a symbol. But yes, it reminds me of the country. I have my emotions attached to it, so I respect it. Now there's another kind of symbolism. Like a person is there, and then you take a photograph of that person. So that photograph reminds you of the person. There is a very close relationship between the photograph and the person. That relationship does not exist between the flag and the country. Isn't it? Right? The flag may change, but the photograph is not going to change. It's going to remain the same. But even actually speaking, there is no relationship between the photograph and the person. Why? Because you may feed the photograph, the person's belly will not get full. Right? You may burn the photograph, the person will not die. So again, the photograph is only a symbol of the person, isn't it? But the deity is not like that. Deity is not kind of a symbol. It's not like a photograph. It's not like a flag. So these are two types of symbolism, ascending and descending. So the deity is not like that. It's not something which reminds me of Krishna. It is actually Krishna. So that is called Chinmaya understanding. So Jadamaya is very gross atheistic approach. Manomaya is the sentimental approach, which many people may have in India. Lots of such people are there. Right? Sentimental approach, but they don't really see the deity as Sakshat Bhagavan. And then there is the Chinmaya approach. The deity is actually Krishna. Hmm. So this is the actual vision which devotees have towards the deities.
Prabhuji, what is meant by ascending and descending symbolism means how?
Ascending and descending means ascending means there is no relationship. Descending means there is relationship. So flag and country is ascending. Person and photograph is descending.
Photograph relationship. And
Yeah, because the photograph has come from the person, no?
sure, right, that okay.
First, who came? No,
That's
so the person is there, and then from that person you're getting the photograph. So it's descending from the person, no? And what is the relation flag and country? Flag is someone's idea, and that idea is being related to the country.
okay.
Otherwise, so what does it have got to do anything with the country? Nothing to do with the country.
Prabhuji, can I ask?
Yeah.
Prabhuji, you said in India we have Manomaya sentimentalism. But
Many people.
Prabhuji, yeah, Prabhuji, like if we have very small deity at home, Goranita or Laddu Gopal, but if we feel they are happy crying, but that is true. That is not sentimentalism, Prabhuji. I can tell because
So who
um,
is telling you are sentimental? We said that many people are sentimental. So we didn't say you are sentimental.
no, I am saying because deity reciprocates.
RAG reciprocates, correct. But the DT does not reciprocate with everyone. First thing is that
So
it's not that the DT reciprocates with everyone.
Yes, but yeah, we are not Chinnamaya. Pure devotees can talk,
Correct. So when we are
but
not
we can
Chinnamaya,
feel.
we are not Chinnamaya, that's what we are not Chinnamaya. So then you are not also, and you may not also be completely Manomaya. There might be a gray shade, gray shade in between. If I am not perfect and I am also not imperfect, so I'm somewhere in between perfect and imperfect. So then there is a gray shade. So gray shade means sometimes your experiences are true and sometimes your experiences may be not true. Sometimes your experiences may be the deity's mercy on you, and sometimes your experiences may be only your imagination. So that is in between thing. And any conditioned soul cannot be completely sure of his or her experiences, because the experiences are received through imperfect senses, including the mind. So that's why, until unless a proper understanding is there, that approach is called a sentimental approach. Sentimental doesn't mean wrong. Sentimental just means it is not with the proper understanding, right? Sentimental doesn't mean that it is false. It just means that it is not with the complete understanding. That's why it's not Chinmaya. It is Manomaya. Okay, Shweta Mataji will not discuss more on this because this is not what I am saying. This is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying. So you may not believe what I am saying, but you should believe what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, correct? Yeah. Let's go to the next topic. Uh, then the third thing is inside and outside. So within everything, how is he within everything? He can appear at any place to favor his devotees. So we know the story of Prahlada. The Lord Nrsimhadev came just out of the pillar. He was not there when the palace was being constructed, isn't it? He was not there when the palace was constructed. So Hiranyakashipu had the complete architectural plan of the palace with him. And he knew for sure there's no Narsinga sitting inside the pillar. That's why he asked Prahlad, are you sure? You're not even born when this palace was made. And I saw it being built in front of my eyes. And that time there was no person sitting inside this pillar. So are you sure Bhagwan is inside this? Right? So, but he can appear. And as Antaryami, he's within everything. So he witnesses everything, he awards karma phala. And outside everything, in his Virata form, as the universal form. So that's all what this purport talks about. Now, any question if you have from this purport, you can ask. It's not very complicated, it's a simple purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Mataji.
In terms of Srila Prabhupada, that is also considered a deity. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Because
because
it's
he is also an
part of
eternal
one soul.
personality.
Perfect. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
If we have something, if we have something material, then that material form is not eternal form. Therefore, if you construct an image resembling that form, so that form is also not an eternal form. But if you talk about Krishna or you talk about personalities who are eternally liberated souls, then their form is one sense eternal form. So therefore, you make a deity out of it. Of that, you make a deity of that form. It's not like idol worship, it is worshipping an eternal form. That's what makes it different. Therefore, we worship Srila Prabhupada's deity. We don't just keep it as a statue in the temple, right? Like there's so many places where you go and see people's murti kept, and they just keep the murti. They don't do anything to the murti. It's just there in the show window, isn't it? That such and such person made this temple, or he's my father, or she's my mother, and stuff like that. But there's no active worship happening or reciprocation with the deity. There's no treatment as a person. But for Srila Prabhupada Murti, it's not like that. We don't just put him in the show window. We worship him, see him as a person only. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, nowadays when people are making home, they are making lot of idol of Krishnas and different god. So and we are not worshipping. It is like in the front or on the wall. So is it correct to make?
We are not worshipping.
I mean, they are just making to make look like a temple, but they are not worshipping those idol. I mean, you can say deities. So
Who? Who?
people are making when they are making any homes on the wall or in
People
the
when
front.
they in a home they put some painting on the wall. Yeah.
Yes,
And
correct. So in the front also sometimes Radha Krishna's idol they are keeping,
yeah,
but
so that is just for decoration, no?
okay.
They don't see the Lord as actually Lord, the deity as Lord. They see it as a decoration. So that's why they put the Lord in such a way. But a devotee will never do that. If you want to decorate the house, there are so many things to decorate the house with, not just some abstract paintings of Krishna or statues or murtis of Krishna and Radharani to decorate the house. Right? So
Hare Krishna,
devotees,
Prabhupada.
they put the paintings of Krishna to remind themselves of Krishna, not to decorate the house, that my house should look beautiful with these paintings. That understanding is not very devotional understanding, isn't it? Just like someone, let's say someone loves his mother or father. So just because you love your mother and father, will you just put their picture and murti anywhere in the house just to make the house look attractive? No, doesn't make sense now.
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
similarly, if someone just puts Krishna's paintings around or statues or deities around just to make the house attractive, that doesn't mean that you have a devotional approach.
Prabhuji, what is wrong with keeping Krishna paintings in the house?
There's
Means
nothing wrong with Krishna paintings in the house. It seems you don't hear the full statement or you get lost. We said, why should we put the paintings? We should put the paintings to remind ourselves of Krishna,
uh,
not to just decorate the house,
uh, but it's
right?
good, na? We put that so that we
Of
will be
course, it is
thinking.
good you put as many paintings as you like, but to remind yourself, not just to make the wall look beautiful or the house look beautiful, not as a decoration piece. Mm.
Prabhuji, what is sentimentalism? I all
Sentimental means it's only an emotion. It's not based on proper knowledge and understanding. You don't understand the tattva. It is some feeling, which means it's on the mental platform. It's called sentimental. Another question, we were in Ganesh idol for Ganesha Chaturthi anniversary for a few days, and then the Visarjana in the sea or rivers. So how much is it correct? So the Visarjan is an old thing, it's not a new thing. That's why it's called Visarjan. Visarjan basically means that you are giving it back. It's different from trashing. You know, Visarjan is a Sanskrit word which means it came and now it's being given back. So because you don't want to worship the deity forever, you can't be so committed. So you worship for a few days. So you invited them, you offered the worship to them, and then you did the Visarjan. So it's a Vedic process. There's nothing wrong about the process. It's okay. Second thing, what about a devotee doing it? It depends on what kind of devotee you are, Prabhu. If you are an Ananya Bhakta of Krishna, then you may not want to do such things. If you are not Ananya, which means you have your faith placed in different places, then you may want to do it. Sometimes you may just do it as a matter of culture, social culture, or because it has been going on in a family for you know generations, so you want to do it. So it all depends on why you are doing it. But those who are very exclusive in their bhakti, they may not do such things because it takes so much of time, effort, energy, you know. Rather, you'll put your mind on something which is more directly related to Krishna consciousness. It all depends on the intensity of Krishna consciousness, actually. So there's nothing like right and wrong here. We can just see it in this way. Do you find Rupa Goswami doing something like that? Do you find Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur doing something like that? Do you find Srila Prabhupada doing something like that? No, we don't find. So then why are they not doing it? Because they are completely focused on exclusive service to Krishna. And because we are not really on that platform, or we are happy on the platform wherever we are, we may be doing such things, then it's okay. Not an issue. But if you ask about whether a devotee should be doing, then I'll say it depends on what kind of devotee, what platform of bhakti you are at.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, there are some festivals which are in like Bengal and all, and some are like in Maharashtra, Goa, like that.
That's what I
So
said. It's a
maybe,
part of the culture, social culture. So you may do it
okay,
as you may do it as a cultural activity, right? So if you do it as a cultural activity because you're part of the society, that's a different thing.
okay, Prabhu.
But
Hare
if you do it the way others do it, why others do it? Why people do such things? Because they have some conception, like Ganesha will come, happiness will
Yeah.
come, prosperity will come, this will come, that will come. So if you also do with the same mentality, then that is not pure devotional service, no?
Prabhuji, conditional love leads to the permanent love.
Conditional love leads to permanent love.
For the beginners, as in the Vedas are for the beginners. Similarly, can't we consider this as as a way to attract
Attract whom?
the initial devotees?
But the initial devotee is already attracted to Krishna. That's why he's a devotee, no? So why you have to do Ganesh Puja to attract him? Yeah, if you are talking about people who are not devotees and you are
Yes,
inviting them to the Ganesh program, and then
I am talking about the others, not the Krishna's devotees, because
so
they
you
have
may do it as a preaching program.
because they have already achieved the.
That might be your intention, that let me do it as a preaching program. That is
Hare Krishna,
okay if you are doing
Prabhu.
it as a preaching program. No problem.
Prabhu, maybe this Prabhu is trying to ask, like, mostly when we are saying that okay, Krishna consciousness is all about Ananya Bhakti, that is unconditional love. So we are not expecting anything in return. So that may not attract all the audience, right? So they want something back in as a return. So he may be saying that okay, initially they worship Ganesha, and further it will be molded. I mean, it will be targeted towards
So
Krishna Bhakti.
let's get very practical now. You go all around the world and you do some statistics, and then you find out how many people became devotees because the program of Ganesh Chaturthi was organized by a devotee and they became a participant in that Ganesh Chaturthi program, and then they suddenly became Krishna devotee. So we may have varieties of ideas of presenting Krishna consciousness, but not at all ideas will work, because Krishna consciousness does not enter into people's hearts because of the ideas. That enters into the heart because of your purity, how much pure you are. It's not on how you present it. Presentation is not very important here. It matters a lot on your purity. What is your consciousness? We should know this thing very clearly. Yeah, we may be doing such things because our own heart is there. That's a different thing. So let's not compare that with, or let's not see that as a preaching strategy. It may be your own personal interest, or maybe your own shraddha is in such things, your heart is in such things, and then you may say I'm doing it as a preaching project or preaching endeavor, preaching initiative. So they are two different things. So if you still have your heart in such things, it's okay, do it, no problem. But then if you are asking whether an Ananya Bhakta will do such things, then no.
Prabhu, my question was like, since we want to spiritualize all activities, like since we are into a culture, see, I'm not saying, I'm just saying in a general thing, since different people are belong to different culture, and as a part of that culture, they may be performing Ganesh Chaturthi or whatever kind of. So, as a part of that,
Okay, now I have a question for you. So let's say you are from India and your culture is to worship Ganesha. So someone was a Christian, his culture was to worship Jesus.
Yes, Prabhu.
Then will we now have programs related to Jesus also to attract people to Krishna consciousness?
No, Prabhu. What I'm trying to say is that since we are belong to Sanatana Dharma, and we know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, we are obliged to perform such things as a part of our culture.
I already mentioned, if you do it as a culture, then no problem, do it as a culture. Just like you go to the office, you may not want to go, but you go. Similarly, you want to do Ganesh Puja, you do it as a culture. But is it only culture, or is it something extra than that?
No, nothing extra than that. For example,
So if it is a culture, then it's okay. I already mentioned that before you asked the question, I already said this. People may do it as a culture. That's fine.
Correct. So if I put it another way, like different people have different kula devatas and all. In a family, because I belong to a big family where we have my father's side have 8, 9 sisters and brothers. So they
But
have all this.
that's fine, Prabhu. That is an adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
That adjustment you have to do because you're in a family.
Correct. So actually, we are saying that Krishna is only one. I mean, he's supreme personality of Godhead. However, just like putting water to the root of tree, everybody will be satisfied. But this philosophy may not fit for them. So that's why we are also obliged to do this thing. That's all.
Yeah, do it then. It's an obligation. So you do it. But your heart is not there. No, we are talking about the heart. Where is the heart?
Correct.
So do you enjoy doing it?
No, even if we are performing such things in my mind, or I may be praying to Krishna only. Maybe some other ritual is happening
So
in my
do you
mind. I'll be
do you
chanting Hare
enjoy
Krishna
it? Do
mantra.
you enjoy it? Do you enjoy doing it? No, you don't enjoy doing it. If you are given an option, okay, you get a chance to participate in Ganesh Puja, or you get a chance to associate with pure devotees of Krishna and hear Krishna Katha. What will you choose? Where is your faith?
Definitely Krishna Katha only.
So then there, your heart is there.
Correct.
Problem is solved. But here we are talking about a person whose heart is still there.
Okay, yes.
Then that is not something you can say conducive to bhakti, no?
Correct.
So as a part of the culture, you do so many things. Like for example, you may be the only devotee in the family, and sometimes the other members of the family may tell you, "Let's go shopping," and you don't want to go shopping, but you still go for shopping, isn't it?
Correct. Correct.
Isn't it? Because it's a necessity, so you do it.
Correct.
So that is okay. As a part of the society, we have to do this, we have to do that. That's a different thing. But we are talking about the heart. Where is the heart?
Correct. Heart is definitely towards Krishna only.
So that's the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, His Holiness Ketanand Swami Bhaktipad had written one book, Krishna and the Christ. And he had in that book written a lot of similarity between Christ and Krishna.
Yeah, that is true. That is just to tell people something about Krishna. That's okay. That is a kind of a bridge preaching we do sometimes to attract people to Krishna consciousness. But the whole strategy is attracting people to Krishna consciousness. That's the whole thing.
Hare Krishna
Uh,
Prabhu. Just one question.
Wait a second.
If
Yes, Mataji. Yes, so many people are doing Ganesh Puja instead of Krishna at the time. Okay. Yes, Mataji, Shweta Mataji, go ahead.
Uh, Prabhuji, earlier I was doing with heart Ganesh Puja. Since 5 years, I heard some story of Ganesha and got inspired. So, but now I am into Krishna consciousness. So, if I stop doing Ganesh Puja, so would it means nothing effects would be there, na? Means I don't know, so I'm asking. So I want to do Krishna only, so that's why I'm asking if I stop bringing Ganesha.
Yes, there won't be any effect. There's nothing to worry about it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Fine. Next, if obligated to do, then see the action in relation to Krishna. Ganesha is a devotee of Krishna. So this is a good way to see it. Yes, you can see it that way. He is a Vaishnava. So then you do also properly. If you really see Ganesha as a Vaishnava, then don't offer bhoga directly to Ganesha. First offer bhoga to Krishna and then offer Krishna prasadam to Ganesha. If you really see Ganesha as a Vaishnava, then don't sing songs which tell Ganesha is Bhagavan or he is the greatest. Then you sing songs which tell that Ganesha is a devotee. If you really see Ganesha as a Vaishnava, then don't do Karma Kandi Puja of Ganesha, then do a Vaishnava Puja of Ganesha. So then do everything also in that way, no? It's not just about seeing Ganesha as Vaishnava, then what you sing, what you offer him, how you treat him, how you worship him, do everything as a Vaishnava then. Correct, because then he will also see that way, right? That you are seeing me as a Vaishnava. We have to be, we have to make things very much aligned. Our thoughts, our actions, the process of worship, it should be in alignment. In your heart, you see Ganesh as a Vaishnava, but you sing songs or you sing bhajans which talk about Ganesha as the problem solver and this and that. Then how do you see him as a Vaishnava?
in heart we can respect Ganesha.
Yeah, in heart, we can respect everyone, Mataji. Not just Ganesha, Shiva also, Durga also, everyone. They are great personalities, they're demigods, so we need to respect them and see them in connection to Krishna. Okay, so we go to next topic.
Krishna
It
Prabhuji,
is
I have one question for you.
Prabhu, one more question, Prabhu.
Prabhuji,
Manji. Yes,
Prabhuji,
Prabhu,
in the
one at a
deities
time,
of
please.
Jagannath, yeah,
Srinivas Prabhu, you can
correct.
go ahead first.
Prabhuji, the deities at the Jagannath Puri, is it
Deities at
periodically
Jagannath
they keep
Puri
change? They
periodically
keep
keep
change every
changing.
period.
Every 12 years they change, yes.
So what they does with the old one, Prabhu?
They bury the old one in the Jagannath temple itself. There is a place. So they put the old one inside the earth there.
So only the Puri one they do like that, correct? No other temples, right?
In Puri only they do that. Other places they don't do that. It's called Navakalevara.
As a ritual,
Okay.
something like that. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Satyavrata Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Since the scripture states that the Supreme Lord as Paramatma is so intimately close, pervading everything and residing right within our own heart, what is the primary internal obstacle or conditioning that causes us as neophyte practitioners to constantly feel that he is so far away in our daily life? And how can our daily sadhana effectively help us bridge this perceived distance to attain the vision described in this mantra, Prabhu? Please elaborate, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So Prabhu, the question is, he is very close to us, sitting right in our heart, but what makes us see him far away and not able to see him closely? It's because of being Bahirmukha. We are not Antarmukhi, we are Bahirmukha, which means our senses, our mind are not focusing inward or inside, they're focusing outside because of that.
Oh, okay.
Which means we are interested in something else. Because of that interest, we are not looking at him or we are neglecting him.
Yes, thank
you. More than him. And that is the reason. Like someone is sitting in front of you and still you're busy on the phone. How does that happen?
Yes, I understand.
That person disappears from there. That's why you got into the phone. No, that person is still there. And you are aware also that that person is still there. But you get busy into the phone because the phone becomes more.
Yes, yeah, I'm not focused.
Super soul is always there, but we don't have so much interest in him. And that's why we are busy, occupied with other things.
Yes. Yes,
and
thank you.
Mostly we are occupied with what? We are occupied with external experiences. Our senses are keeping us always busy. The eye wants to see something, the ear wants to hear something, right? We are always busy in external experiences. So that makes us neglect him sitting in the heart. And we study in Bhagavad Gita, therefore, for those who want to perceive the super soul in the heart, they have to do pratyahara. Pratyahara. So what is pratyahara? Pratyahara means stop giving ahar to the senses. Stop giving food to the senses. So if you stop giving food to the senses, then what happens? Then you change your focus from outside to inside.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is the problem.
Thank you, Prabhu, for remind. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So therefore, there is a very famous quotation by one devotee. He says, distraction is actually another form of attraction. Correct? When I say I'm distracted, that means actually I'm not distracted. I'm attracted to something else. So distraction is another form of attraction. Yeah. Next mantra. Mantra 6. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyevānupashyati sarvabhuteshu chatmanang tato na vijuggupsate. He who systematically sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord, who sees all living entities as his parts and parcels, and who sees the Supreme Lord within everything, never hates anything or any being. So now another layer of knowledge. The one who sees everything in relation to Krishna, and he does that systematically, who sees every living entity as his part and parcel, and who sees the Lord within everything, never hates anything or anyone. So this verse is requiring some explanation. Some words like anupashyati are very important. We'll look at the explanation later. First, let's just read through the mantra, purport. Purport, first paragraph. Radhika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This is a description of the Mahabhagavata, the great personality who sees everything in relation to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord's presence is realized in three stages. The Kanisht Adhikari is in the lowest stage of realization. He goes to a place of worship, such as a temple, church, or a mosque, according to his religious faith, and worships these according to scriptural injunctions. Devotees in this stage consider the Lord to be present at the place of worship and nowhere else. They cannot ascertain who is in what position in devotional service, nor can they tell who has realized the Supreme Lord. Such devotees follow the routine formulas and sometimes quarrel among themselves, considering one type of devotion better than another. These Kanishta Adhikaris are actually materialistic devotees who are simply trying to transcend the material boundary to reach the spiritual plane. Should I continue?
Mataji, thank you. We'll discuss a bit on this paragraph first. So here, because it is mentioned about a devotee on very high platform who sees everything in relation to Krishna. So not everyone is on that platform, obviously. Very few people are on that platform. Therefore, in the purport, different types of devotees are mentioned. So there are Kanishtas, which means on a very low platform. Then there's Madhyama, somewhere in between. And then there's Uttama, the highest. So this vision of seeing everything in relation to Krishna is an Uttama Adhikari, Vaishnava. Very high platform of, bhakti, consciousness. But then it starts with Kanishta level. So what is Kanishta level? So Kanishta Adhikari is the lowest stage of realization. He goes to a place of worship such as temple, church, or mosque, according to his religious faith, and worships there according to scriptural injunctions. So devotees in this category consider the Lord to be present only at the place of worship. which means Bhagavan is in temple, but Bhagavan is not in my office. He's not in my home. He's not on the street when I'm walking on the street. So only temple Bhagavan is there, and nowhere else. So what does this mean? This means that when they're in the temple, they behave in one way, and when they are somewhere else, they behave in another way. Isn't it? Because Bhagavan is only in the temple, so he's watching us. But where is he watching us? Only in the temple. Right? In other places, he's not watching us. So that is Kanishtha mentality, and they will even fight that Krishna is only in this temple, or God is only in the mosque, or only in the church. So God is only in my sampradaya, isn't it? Or even such ideas that only my spiritual master loves Krishna, no one else. So that is Kanishta mentality, which means very narrow-minded approach. They cannot ascertain who is in what position in bhakti. So they cannot judge properly who is how much elevated in Krishna consciousness. And because of that, sometimes they'll see a very unqualified person as a great devotee, and a very qualified devotee as someone who is very ordinary person, because they don't have correct understanding of what is bhakti, right? Such devotees follow the routine formulas and sometimes even quarrel amongst themselves or fight amongst each other for small things, considering one type of devotion better than another. So these kanishtas are actually materialistic devotees. Why materialistic? Because they are devotees, but they have a lot of material desires in their heart. So that's called materialistic. And they simply try to transcend material boundary to reach the spiritual. So that's the struggle that they go through, how to cross over material and come to spiritual. So that's the lowest level. Now, Kanishta is a relative term. There can be Kanishta, 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 which means, Kanishta is just a relative thing, lower, higher, in between. These are relative things, correct? So we are only getting some idea of it. And in different places, the same word Kanishta is defined or described differently. In Ishopanishad, this is the description. In Updeshamrita, we'll find some other description. In Srimad Bhagavatam, then there's some other description. But all are correct characteristics of someone who is neophyte. The next, those who are on the middle platform, Madhyama. I read this paragraph. Atita Guna Radhika Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Namaste. Those who have attained the second stage of realization are called Madhyama Adhikaris. These devotees observe the distinctions between four categories of being: the Supreme Lord, the devotees of the Lord, the innocent who have no knowledge of the Lord, and the atheists who have no faith in the Lord and hate those in devotional service. The Madhyama Adhikari behaves differently toward these four classes of person. He adores the Lord, considering him the object of love. He makes friends with those who are in devotional service. He tries to awaken the dormant love of God in the hearts of the innocent, and he avoids the atheist who deride the very name of the Lord. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you. So these are the characteristics of a Madhyama. Four characteristics are there. It's a verse from Bhagavatam itself. So loves the Lord, makes friendship with the devotees. Those who are innocent is compassionate upon them. And those who are atheistic keeps distance from them. So that is Madhyama. So Madhyama is very clear in understanding different concepts, the level of different personalities, knows how to behave with different Vaishnavas properly. So that is a Madhyama. That understanding is there. And then we have Uttamadhikari, the topmost. We read this paragraph. Kavitaja Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, please. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. Above the Madhyamaka Adhikaris, the Uttama Adhikari who sees everything in relation to the Supreme Lord, such a devotee does not discriminate between an atheist and a theist, but sees everyone as the part and the parcel of God. He knows that there are no essential difference between a vastly learned Brahmana and dog in the street, because both of them are part and parcel of Lord, although they are encased in different bodies on account of different qualities of their activities in their previous lives. He sees that Brahmana's practical of the Supreme Lord has not misused the little independence given by the Lord, and that dog particle has misused the independence and is therefore being punished by the laws of the nature by being encased in the form of dog, not considering the respective action of Brahmana and the dog. The Uttamadhikari tries to do good to both. Such a learned devotee is not misled by material bodies, but is attracted by the spiritual spark with them. Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you.
So the Uttama has this
Hare
very distinct characteristic that he is situated on the transcendental platform. So doesn't see the body, sees the spirit soul. And this seeing the spirit soul is not just a mental exercise that today I heard in the class, so from tomorrow I'll start seeing the soul. No, it is because of the realization. Not just seeing, I mean, in the mind that I see, no, I don't see the body, I see the soul. No, they actually see the soul, which means they actually perceive on a different platform. So that is Uttama, liberated personality. And that person will treat everyone with compassion. Or treating everyone with compassion doesn't mean that treat everyone similarly. The idea is to do good to everyone. So how do you do good to different people? You do good to them in a different ways. You don't do good to them in the same way. Correct. So that is there in the mind of an Uttama. When we read about Uttama, just like if you have watched a movie, I'm sure you must have watched some movies in your life. So when you watch a movie and you see the hero of the movie or the heroine of the movie in front of you, or you see some very attractive character, then does it not happen that you start relating with that character for some time, at least in your mind? Yes, you do. The adventure of that character becomes your adventure. When that character becomes successful, you become happy. Isn't it? It happens, correct? So it's the nature of the mind to always have very romantic ideas about the reality. So the movie is not reality, but the nature of the mind is to romanticize it. Yeah, imagine it. This is how it is. So when we hear about even great Vaishnavas like Prahlad, or Haridas Thakur, or Srila Prabhupada, or some other pure devotee, so immediately our mind begins to romanticize. I also want to be like that. I also want to become like this. I also want to have those qualities. There's nothing wrong with that. We should desire something like that. But there's a problem when we start imagining that I already have it. Isn't it? I don't know if you have heard people say like that, but there are people in this world who so boldly tell, I have love for everyone. And who are they? They're just common people walking on the street. But they make such bold statements. I have love for everyone. There's no one in this world I don't hate at all. These are very, nice to hear statements, but it's not so easy to love everyone. It's not so easy. Therefore, Prabhupada in the next paragraph says, some people, they imagine that they love everyone, but it's only an imagination. And he says, why it is an imagination? Because if you are not an Uttamadhikari, you cannot love everyone. If you are not on the platform of spirit soul, you are on bodily platform, you cannot love everyone. Isn't it? So then he mentions in the next paragraph this concept. Those who imitate an Uttamadhikari by flaunting means to show a sense of oneness, of fellowship, but who behave on the bodily platform are actually false philanthropists. The conception of universal brotherhood must be learned from an Uttamadhikari. And not from a foolish person who does not properly understand the individual soul or the Supreme Lord's super soul expansion who dwells everywhere. So there are so many people in this world who claim to be very loving, very caring, very kind, very compassionate. Their heart is so soft, it melts for everything and everyone. But then we should know it's not possible. Until unless one is completely on the spiritual platform, we cannot have pure, genuine love. Our love may be there, but it's not pure. Why it's not pure? Because it's for someone and it is not for someone. It is for something and it's not for something. And it is mostly related to what? It's mostly related to aham and mama. Me and mine. This is mine, therefore I love it. This is not mine, therefore I don't have any concern for it. Right? So only a pure devotee can say, yes, I love everyone. It is actually true if a pure devotee says something like that. But those who are not, if they say something like that, then it cannot be true. It's not possible. Okay, next paragraph. Anupashyati is explained here. Very important term. We read this. Sankarshan Vishnu Prabhu.
It is clearly mentioned in the sixth mantra that one should observe or systematically see. This means that one must follow the previous acharyas, the perfected teachers. Anupasyati is the exact Sanskrit word used in this connection. Anu means to follow, and pasyati means to observe. Thus, the word anupasyati means that one should not see things as he does with the naked eye, but should follow the previous acharyas. Due to material defects, the naked eyes cannot see anything properly. One cannot see properly unless one has heard from the superior source, and the highest source is the Vedic wisdom, which is spoken by the Lord himself. Vedic truths are coming in disciplic succession from the Lord Brahma, from Brahma to Narad, from Narad to Vyas, and from Vyas to many of his disciples. Formerly, there was no need to record the message of the Vedas because people in earlier ages were more intelligent and had sharper memories. They could follow the instruction simply by hearing once from the mouth of a bona fide spiritual master.
Yes. So Anupashyati. So this word Anupashyati has many meanings. We'll see them later. How to break down this word and to understand. Let's go to the next paragraph. Shweta Mataji, you want to read the paragraph?
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. At present, there are many commentaries on the revealed scriptures. but most of them are not in the line of disciplic succession coming from Srila Vyasadeva, who originally compiled the Vedic wisdom. The final, most perfect and sublime work by Srila Vyasadeva is Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the natural commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. There is also the Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken by the Lord Himself and recorded by Vyasadeva. These are the most important revealed scriptures, and any commentary that contradicts the principle of Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam is unauthorized. There is complete agreement among the Upanishad, Vedanta Sutra, Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam, and no one should try to reach any conclusion about the Vedas without receiving instruction from the members of Vyasadeva's disciplic succession, who believe in the personality of Godhead and his diverse energies as they are explained in Sri Ishopanishad. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Next paragraph. Adishavu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. According to Bhagavad Gita 18.54, only one who is already on liberated platform, that is Brahma Buddha, can become an Uttama Adhikari devotee and see every living being as his own brother. This vision cannot be had by politicians who are always after some material gain. One who imitates the symptoms of an Uttama Adhikari may serve another's outward body for the purpose of fame or material reward, but he does not serve the spirit soul. Such an imitator can have no information of spiritual world. The Uttama Adhikari see the spirit soul within material body and serves him as spirit. Thus, the material aspect is automatically served. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Okay, so we go to the PPT now. Some extra points there on the PPT. So this mantra, it talks about the vision of oneness, right? To see the oneness, see the Lord everywhere and see everything connected to Him. That is oneness. It doesn't mean that you see everything as Bhagavan, but you see everything in connection to Bhagavan. That is oneness. And here it says, that person who does not hate any being or anything, who sees the living entities in relation to the Lord and the super soul in everything, does not hate any being or anything, he actually sees properly. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who writes a very important comment in this regard. He says that hatred and love are opposites. But in material world, you don't find someone who loves and does not hate. You will always find people, they love, but they also hate. Love something, hate something. Isn't it? But that is the nature of material love. In spiritual love, these two polarities are not there. So in spiritual love, if there is love, then there is no hatred. Like, to give you an example, Prahlad Maharaj, he hated no one, not even his father, who tried to kill him. Haridas Thakur, he was beaten in 22 marketplaces, but he did not hate those people who were beating him. Isn't it? If someone just gives us a slap, right, only a slap, then we'll not forget the slap, isn't it? And Haridas Thakur was beaten in 22 marketplaces with a whip, and he did not hate them. Correct? So that is the quality of spiritual love. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that how to know if you have developed pure love. So he gives a very interesting definition. He says, you have pure love if you have no hatred for anything and anyone, then you have pure love. And that's a very high standard, to not have hatred for anything. Now, one may say, no, I don't have any hatred for anyone. But imagine tomorrow you're walking on the street and someone starts running after you with a knife. Then how much are you going to like that person? Of course not, isn't it? So he says, when there's no hatred for anyone, that is pure love, because that love is not tinged with hatred. So this verse is talking about a person on that platform. Very, very exalted platform. Fine. And then we look at the word anupashyati. So anupashyati has two words, anu and pashyati. What is the meaning of the word anu? Anyone knows? What does anu mean?
To follow.
Sorry, Prabhu?
To follow.
To follow. Okay, anu means to follow. And what else? Anu just means to follow.
Prabhuji, it means also like little.
It means little. What else it means? Follow, little. When you say anu,
We are Anu and Krishna is Vibhu.
that is anu. Right, anu. So anu has another meaning. What is that meaning? Continuously.
Anupashyati.
Anu means continuously, like again and again and again. That's also another meaning of anu. So there's another meaning given by Vedanta Deshika, skillfully. So anu means skillfully, continuously, to follow. And pashyati means to see, observe. So anupashyati means to always see like that. One meaning.
Skillfully.
To skillfully see like that. Skillfully means you train yourself to see like that. And third, to see things the way the previous acharyas have seen. That's called anupashyati. Again. So I see it like that always. I see it the way the previous acharyas have seen. And I see it like that in a skillful manner, which means I train myself to see it like that. So in this whole verse, mantra, now when you put this word in place, what is the mantra teaching? What is the mantra teaching?
To become Uttamadhikari, to try to become Uttamadhikari.
What is the mantra teaching? If you put this word with these meanings in place,
Follow,
what
to
Follow,
follow our
to follow skillfully, continuously, and to observe previous acharyas.
no,
to
don't break down the meaning in that way. You have to put it together. No, Pashyati and Anu are not separate. They are together, coming together. So you skillfully observe, you continuously observe, you observe the way the previous acharyas have observed. But then observe what? That's my question.
to follow instructions of previous acharya.
Please hear the questions before you give the answer. Understand the question. Continuously observe, skillfully observe, observe the way the previous acharyas have observed. But observe what?
Living entities in the world.
Okay. Observe what? Observe everything in relation to Krishna. That's what the mantra is teaching. Right? That's what the mantra is teaching. No, observe everything in relation to Krishna. That's what an Uttamadhikari does, correct? So continuously see everything in relation to Krishna. One meaning. Second meaning, skillfully see everything in relation to Krishna. Why skillfully? Because you have to use your intelligence. No, how is it connected to Krishna? So that skill has to be developed. And third,
to follow Krishna.
To follow the previous acharya. So you
Gurus.
see Krishna, you see things related to Krishna the way the previous acharyas have seen. So if I go to Vrindavan, I want to see Vrindavan. How will I see Vrindavan? I'll see Vrindavan through the eyes of, not my eyes, through the eyes of the acharyas. Then actually I'll see Vrindavan, because if I see through my eyes, then I'll not see Vrindavan. I'll see cement. I'll see so many other things, but not Vrindavan. Right? So one should see through the eyes of the previous acharyas. So that is anupashyati. So an uttamadhikari is perfect, so he sees in that manner. But those who are not perfect, this word anupashyati is giving them the process of becoming perfect. Like, how do I see? So I see it in this way. I follow this process continuously, skillfully, and following the footsteps of the previous acharya. You are able to understand. Therefore, when we study the scripture, or when we sing a song, or we look at the deities of Krishna, how do we see them? How do we decode everything, or how do we experience everything? Not that this is my experience. No, we experience it the way the acharyas have experienced. Right. That's called anupashyati. Yes, that's the understanding here. So we are not sitting here and trying to decode Sri Ishopanishad as per our intellect. No, we are trying to understand Sri Ishopanishad through the eyes of explanations of Srila Prabhupada. That is anupashyati. For that regard, Prabhupada has given this explanation. So very nice. One should not see things as one does with the naked eye, but should follow the previous acharyas. Why? Due to material defects, the naked eye cannot see anything properly. How to see? One cannot see properly unless one has heard from a superior source. How do we see things? We see things based on what we have heard about those things, no? Correct? So that's how we see those things. And then, what is that source? So Vedic wisdom is that source. So this is something which I talk about many times. Many people in this world, they come to Krishna consciousness. But they give too much of value to their own experiences. And there's nothing wrong in learning from your experience. But there's a problem in that approach. The problem is all our experiences are not correct experiences. Second, we have a limit to experience everything. So there are many things which are out of our experiences. And those things cannot be experienced just by experiencing. Those things are only experienced by first hearing about them. Like, to give an example, Krishna loves us. Do we always experience it? We don't. Sometimes we may think, yes, Krishna loves me, but we don't always experience, isn't it? But we know that Krishna loves us. And how do we know that? Because we have heard that. So on the Vedic path, we have to learn to give more importance to the process of hearing then to the process of experiencing. It's very, very important. Because experience is all about my own perception, and my perception is faulty. That we already discussed way in the beginning. 4 defects: imperfect senses, cheating propensity, mistakes, illusion. So my experience, whether it is material experience, it is spiritual experience, it is whatever experience, it is all within the defects. So we hear first, correct? We hear. That's the most important thing. We hear. Shravanam we do. And that's how we learn to see things, not just through experiences. Okay. We discussed about the 3 types of Vaishnavas: Kanishta, Uttama, Madhyama. This topic will come again and again, so therefore we are not going too much into detail of that. And okay, one more interesting slide. I'll show that and then we'll stop. So there are these 4 terms. Are you able to see the slide? No, you're not seeing the slide. Okay, so did you never saw the slide? Did you see the slide, Anupashyati? You saw? Yes, you saw. Yes or no? No, you did not see Anupashyati slide?
We saw.
No. Yes, we saw.
Okay.
I
Fine then. So this slide now you see four types of people: materialistic, Mayavadi, Sahajiya, Bhakta. Attachment to matter, attachment to Krishna. So materialistic person. Attachment to matter, yes, no.
Yes.
Yes.
Attachment to Krishna?
No.
No.
No. That's a
yes.
materialistic. No. Materialistic means no attachment to Krishna. Right? That's a materialistic. Mayavadi, attachment to
No.
matter?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No. Of course, they are not attached to matter. And they are also not attached to Krishna. Right? Sahajiya? Sahajiya means a neophyte devotee, materialistic devotee.
Both. Yes.
Attachment to matter?
Yes.
Yes. And because it's a devotee, attachment to Krishna also? Yes.
Yes.
And when we say devotee, attachment to matter?
No.
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 Attachment. Yes.
Yes.
This is a very simple, crystal clear understanding of different types of people.
Materialistic or atheist?
Materialistic people may be atheists, may not be atheists. They're just sense gratifiers. So,
they can be attached to Krishna, na?
what is meant by attachment? Do you understand the meaning of word attachment?
Might be I don't know. That's why I am saying wrong.
Open the dictionary or Google. What is the meaning of word attachment? Attachment means to love deeply. That's called attachment. So if someone is just, let's say, a believer that there is some God, do they have deep love for God? Just some belief is not love, na? Attachment is a very strong word. Attachment doesn't just mean that you're sticking around. That's not attachment. Attachment means you are very firmly connected. That's called to be attached. So materialistic people don't have that strong connection with Bhagavan, whatever they may follow. They just have some belief that God exists.
We as a sadhakas are bhakta or sahajiya? We are sahajiya, na?
That you decide. That
Ah,
you decide because different people will be on different platforms. So we decide for ourselves where we are. Okay, so we'll stop here. Now you can ask any question. Yes, Rashi Mataji, you have a question or you wanted to read?
I have a question. Do we have examples of Sahajya from scriptures to understand?
Examples of Sahajiyas from scriptures. Well, we can take many examples. Like, for example, we can say Indra. Indra is a kind of a Sahajiya devotee, materialistic devotee. He is a devotee of Krishna, no doubt, but is also very strongly attached to sense gratification.
Okay. And what about Dhruv Maharaj?
Dhruv Maharaj is not a Sahajiya. Dhruv Maharaj is a pure devotee of Krishna.
Pure devotee. But okay.
Initially, he approached with some material desire, but he became pure.
Okay.
Sahajiyas are, you see, there's a difference between you having material desires and you being a Sahajiya. You having material desires is not a problem because everyone has material desires to start with. Correct. So that doesn't put one in the category of Sahajiya. You have material desires, but you're sincere, so material desires will get removed in due course of time. A Sahajiya is what? A Sahajiya thinks I can still have material desires and at the same time I can love Krishna. Both will go hand in hand. No problem.
But it cannot go hand in hand.
How can it go hand in hand?
Okay.
Can it go? It cannot go. But that person thinks like that. I can also materially enjoy like anything and also be a very nice devotee of Krishna. And that person wants to stay like that, This is how I want my life. So that's called Sahajiya.
Okay.
But if someone is having material desires, but one understands very thoroughly that no, this is not the proper standard of bhakti. Bhakti means you should be completely pure. Then that bhakti satisfies Krishna the most. And I wish someday I can also come to that platform. I may have a material desire now, or I may have some material desires now, but I want eventually to come out of them. I want to purify them, right? I don't deny them. I don't want to discard them, but I want to become purified of them over the period of time. And I want to come to pure platform, then that is not Sahajiya, because we are not aiming to be Sahajiya forever, no? Not thinking like that. So Sahajiya is one who thinks this way, that both can go well hand in hand, no problem.
Normally, actually, bhaktas for the minimum requirement for our living things, so we need as a materialistic requirement, like to move from here or something like that. So that is what this like house, simple clothes are required. So those things we cannot take as a material desires. So, but we
These
are
are not material.
yeah. Okay.
That's not material desire.
Okay.
If you
Your
food,
voice
then you
is
can't have material desire. That's required for the body, na? So material desire basically means, when you talk about material desire, it means to think of enjoyment which is not required. That's called material desire.
okay.
But then there are certain things which are needed for that's how you survive, for the body, for the mind. You need such things. So then to get those things is not called material desire. You need a house to stay. So if let's say you're working hard to earn money to pay the rent of the house, then you can't say that I am fulfilling my material desire, because who doesn't live in the house? Everyone lives in the house, no? Even a sannyasi lives in the house. So just to live in the house is not that I have material desires. You're understanding, Prabhu, correct? Yeah, but then you have to
Yes.
you want a house to live in, but then you want to buy a house which is 50 CR worth. Then you
That's a
can say
materialist.
that is.
Yeah, right. Right. Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, discard and purify.
Discard means to reject.
And purify?
Purify means to engage in it, but not be affected by it.
Engage in it, but not affected.
Yeah, and rise above it. That's for purify. Like to give an example, you want to eat food. So if you discard that desire, then you are rejecting it. But you want to eat food, so you prepare the food, you offer it to Krishna. It becomes prasadam, and then you eat it. So then you purify.
If I think for a type of food,
No problem. In the initial stage, you can think like that also. But slowly, slowly, then that will go away. It can start that way, but it will go away.
purify it.
We have to
Hare
learn
Krishna,
to
Prabhuji.
purify it.
Prabhuji, I have a question related to hatred on the previous context. As you said, people, there are many ordinary people, they say that I love everyone. And there are few pure devotees who says that I love everyone. So we can trust them because they are devotees. And the ordinary men,
Not just that they're devotees, they're pure devotees.
pure devotees, yeah. So Prabhu, what if to someone thoughts the hatred come at that certain point and then it reduces or it eliminate from the mind, then how we can see it to it?
So hatred towards someone has gone, but hatred in its element has not gone now.
Okay.
Like for example, you might not be getting angry anymore on someone, but that doesn't mean that your anger is completely over,
Understood.
because it is there in the heart. In some other situation, it may come out. So one thing is to give up hatred towards someone or something, to give up anger, to give up greed. That is one thing. But the other thing is to completely uproot that anartha. So when you say uprooting it means it will not come again for anything and anyone. That's a different thing, no?
How will it come, Prabhuji?
Yeah. So first of all, do you understand there's a difference?
Yes, there is a difference.
There's a difference. Correct. So uprooting of it will only happen by practicing bhakti, because bhakti will uproot it. We'll also have to put efforts, no doubt. But by doing bhakti, these things will get uprooted from the heart. You know,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
this only becomes possible because of bhakti.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Kapilaj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Actually, Shankaracharya is a Mayavadi. But right now, we used to read Shankaracharya, means Jagannath has to come, even he has created in Puri the deities also, he has that created that one also. But
Who told you Shankaracharya is a Mayavadi?
study accepts Shankaracharya, Prabhuji.
Yeah, who told Shankaracharya is a Mayavadi?
Actually, what I have read that it was a part of the plan of God
So
that
then
he
why you call him as a Mayavadi? He's not
actually
a Mayavadi.
mostly yes, Prabhuji.
He taught Mayavad, but he is not a Mayavadi.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
He's a
So,
devotee of Krishna.
Prabhuji, yes, Prabhuji, yes, Prabhuji. So my question that he will go in devotee category, na Prabhuji?
Yes, he's a devotee, but because he behaved like a
Yes,
Mayavadi, we may call him as a Mayavadi.
yes, Prabhuji.
But actually, he's a devotee. So if you want to
Yes, Prabhuji.
talk about him in Vaishnava circle, then you will see him as a devotee.
Yes,
But then if for general people, because he taught Mayavad always, then you may say he's a Mayavadi.
yes, Prabhuji.
Actually, it's not a Mayavadi, it's a devotee.
Yes, Prabhuji, he is a
Shankaracharya is the incarnation of Lord Shiva.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like you told, like Sahajiyas are attached to matter. So, so how can I know? Means attached to matter means what level? Like you told right now that earning our living is not attached sense gratification or attaching to the matter. So, in which like we have the understanding through iskcon classes, through Guru Maharaj classes, that yes, we have to go on this path, and this is the level. So, but we are on not on that level. So, where we lie? We are not bhakta, we are not sahajiyas. So, where we lie, Prabhuji?
In between. In between, if you're on a journey, started from point A and you're supposed to go to point B, and you are in the journey, so where you are? You're neither at point A nor at point B. You are somewhere in between.
So attached to matter means what, Prabhuji? It's that unnecessary sense gratification, or means sense gratification is allowed in what limit? What? How can we understand that?
The limit is very nicely described by Srila Prabhupada. As much is required to keep yourself alive. That is the
Okay.
limit.
Okay. But it can be like,
Understand? So what is required to keep yourself alive? So that is the limit. Now, you can remain alive by eating 2 chapatis, let's say. So that is okay. But then if you want to remain alive just by eating pizza, then that's not okay. Because to remain alive, chapatis are enough. Isn't it? So slowly, in this way, you'll understand that to remain alive, I have very basic necessities and I'm happy with those necessities being fulfilled. And that kind of um, lifestyle happens over the time. It doesn't happen immediately. So we at our level, we just have to see how much I'm engaging in sense gratification, which means how much I'm unnecessarily involving myself in sensual in engagements. And we should try to reduce it little by little.
so how we will come to know? Like you said, 2 chapatis are enough.
That you
Pizza
will
is
come
not.
to know, Mataji, yourself. No one has to tell you. If you are dying, someone has to come and tell you are dying, Shweta Mataji. No, right? You will come to know you're dying, isn't it? So what is sufficient for you, no one has to tell you. You yourself come to know. When your belly gets full by eating, who tells you? Someone comes and tells you, Shweta, stop eating, your belly is full. You come to know yourself. So no one has to tell us. You will come to know yourself. Right? This is very easy to understand. Yeah, if someone is a small child, then the child will not know my belly is full and the child will keep on eating. And then mama has to tell that stop eating, otherwise you'll have stomach problem. So child sometimes doesn't know and keeps on gulping down things because it is tasty. So the mother has to stop. But a grown-up person definitely knows, now I'm full, I can't eat more. Isn't it? So similarly, we'll come to know what is required, what is sufficient for us. No one has to tell us. All right.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hmm.
I had a question. I didn't understand in this Anupashyati. What does it mean to skillfully see everyone in relation to Krishna? What does
Skillfully means using intelligence. Skillful means to use intelligence. Like giving an example, it has already come before. You see a wooden furniture in front of you. So that wooden furniture has come from wood, which has come from a tree. That tree is formed because of nourishment from earth. And that earth is one of the energies of Krishna. So all this connecting the dots, it is happening because of using intelligence, correct? So this is a skill.
And what does it mean when we say an Uttamadhikari sees everyone, every soul equally, does not hate anyone, but does not treat everyone in the same manner?
Yeah, so treating is
What does
based
that
on the
mean?
person's externals. For example, I'll give you a very simple example. You respect a man, you respect the woman, you respect a dog, you respect a wild tiger, and you respect a poisonous snake. You respect all of them. Fine. Which means you allow them to exist. That's called respect. You have no problem with them. Right? But will you treat them similarly? For a man, you may shake hands. For a woman, you may embrace. Isn't it? Correct. For a dog, you may pat. Isn't it? Now, when it comes to wild tiger, no shaking hand, no embracing, no patting. Right? You just watch from distance, or maybe offer pranams from distance, isn't it? So that's how you respect the wild tiger. So you treat differently.
Yes, but that is also common sense. Everyone does that, right? If
Yes.
we had, if you're only talking
So
about human
that's what that
beings,
is true. People treat different people differently. That is common sense. But they don't see the oneness. That is not common, no?
And common sense is also is not common.
Yeah. So to see the oneness is not common. That is, if one will keep distance from tiger, not because he respects the tiger, because he's afraid for life. But when we talk about a pure devotee, the pure devotee also respects that tiger, sees the soul, respects the soul. So common people don't do that, isn't it?
if someone disrespects an Uttamadhikari or tries to harm them, do they not get angry or react in any way?
They may or may not. It depends on. You see, if mostly when you say Uttamadhikari, there are two types of Uttamadhikaris. One is an Uttamadhikari who stays on the Uttamadhikari platform, so he will not get angry. Examples are there. Prahlad Maharaj is an example. Very good example. But then there are Uttamadhikaris who come down to Madhyam platform to become a teacher. So they may get angry because they are supposed to teach the difference between right and wrong. So they may get angry.
Like Nityanand Prabhu with Jagai Madhai can be an example.
Nityanand Prabhu did not get angry.
No, Chaitanya
Mahaprabhu got
Mahaprabhu.
angry.
Yes.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got angry. Isn't
Mhm.
it? So sometimes for teaching they may, like to give an example, if a non-devotee, let's say, disrespects Srila Prabhupada, there are examples like that. Srila Prabhupada may not mind,
Yeah.
but if a disciple disrespects, then he may get angry. Why? Because for a non-devotee, he's not bothered. Okay, you are disrespecting me, it's okay for me, not a problem. But for a disciple, because he's a guru, he's supposed to teach him the right way of conduct. He may get angry. But then that anger is not because of hatred. That anger is out of compassion.
How can we, if we see two devotees, if we meet two devotees, how can we know who's a Madhyadhikari and who's a Uttamadhikari?
If you are a Madhyam, you'll know.
We cannot know from outside if we meet two different devotees.
You cannot. If you are at Kanishta, you cannot know. If you are a Kanishta, you cannot know until unless that person tells you or someone else tells you. So if a Madhyamadhikari comes and tells you, I am Madhyama, or someone else tells you he or she is a Madhyama, then you will come to know. Similarly, an Uttama personally deals with you like an Uttama, or someone tells you he is an Uttama, then you may know. But if you yourself are on Kanishta platform, just by yourself, you cannot know. You're understanding, no? Yeah, just like, for example, if you have jaundice, how can you know sugar is sweet? Because if you taste it, you will not find it sweet. For you, it will be bitter only. So, sugar is sweet. Who is supposed to then tell it to you? Someone who doesn't have jaundice, no? Yeah, so if we are in Kanishta, we'll not be able to easily identify Madhyama, Uttama. It will be very difficult for us. Now the next question is, so how to then know who is Madhyama, Uttama? So then we pray to Krishna. Can't understand who is Uttama, who is Madhyama, but you know very well. So can you please help me, give me some signal, give me some clue, give me some glimpse of understanding. So then Krishna may help us to identify. If you remain on mute, Mataji, I cannot hear you.
Yes. So, if with respect to this mantra, how can we apply this in our lives? Like, how can we try to see everyone equally on the same platform with respect to
So
Krishna?
by studying this mantra, how will we apply in our lives? First of all, we'll apply humility in our lives. Because when we come to know about great devotees, we should become humble that I am still so far away from this stage. So that is the first application, becoming humble. Right? Then the second application is ask for help from Krishna. Because I am humble, I am small, I am nothing. I need so much of your help. Right? And the third thing is we apply what is told to us to apply. You follow the previous acharyas in seeing things. So you learn from them. Anupashyati, if you want to come to their level of anupashyati. So you learn from them. That is one of the meanings of anupashyati. That's what we apply. This verse is giving us the result, the goal. So we can't apply the goal, no. We have to achieve the goal. So this is giving us the goal. The process is also given. So we apply ourselves to the process. And the goal will be achieved. Yes. What
Yes.
else?
So, Prabhuji, so as common people, right, I mean, the world is filled with so many folks who talk bad about Sanatana, destroying the deities and all those things, right? So, and you mentioned previously that it is a responsibility of us to protect those deities and devotees, because the Lord has not come in that form to protect himself. So it's our responsibility, that it be common people or pure devotees. So in those cases, mostly we will have some anti thought process, if not hatred, against those people who are doing these miscreant activities. So
To have it, what is the problem?
yeah, so but we are not supposed to, right?
Why you are not supposed to? If you are an
You have to
Uttama
see everybody
Adhikari,
as
if you are an Uttama Adhikari, you will not hate them. If you are a Madhyam Adhikari, you will hate them.
So that's what I'm saying. My question was that only. So as Uttamadhikaris, they will not have any anti-thought
Yes,
at
so
all against.
why are you not understanding, Janaka Prabhu, this thing? Just by knowing how an Uttamadhikari is, you don't become, no?
I know, I don't become. I'm not telling that. My question is only that.
And just because you give up hatred towards these people, you don't become Uttamadhikari.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
So let's say you have hatred towards people who are atheistic in nature. You have hatred towards people who are causing harm to the devotees. Then that hatred is justified at your level. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
That's okay. Because a Madhyama will have hatred, you know. But then at the same time, if I'm engaging in bhakti nicely, then over the years that hatred will also go away.
Yeah.
So the point is what? You engage in bhakti. That is the only way.
Okay.
Not that today I heard I should not have a hatred, so from tomorrow I'll stop hating them. It will not be possible.
Yeah, it's not possible. At least we have to start working towards that, right? To not
You can't
get
work
them
towards
as
that. You can only work on bhakti, sadhana. You
sadhana.
can't work towards that.
Okay.
You know, you can't work towards that because that is not in your control. Please try to understand. Your emotions are not under your control.
Okay.
The emotions that you go through are under the control of three modes of material nature, which is controlling you. Are you able to understand?
Yes, yes.
So it's not that anger is in my control. If I decide I'll be angry, if I decide I will not be angry. This is not like that. You know, we are not controlling anger. Anger controls us.
Yeah.
So we are under the control of three modes. So I cannot imagine or I cannot just think that, okay, I'll become free from hatred. That's not going to help. If you want to become free from hatred, anger, then the solution is rise above the three modes. If you rise above the three modes, then these qualities stop controlling you. And what is the process to rise above the three modes? Only bhakti. Mam chayobhyabhicharene bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. You memorize this verse from 14th chapter, 26th verse. So mam chayobhyabhicharene bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samatityetan. Only that person will become free from the three modes. Right? Yeah. So only that person. Otherwise, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, the other person can imagine that I become free from hatred. But you will not become free from hatred until unless you become a pure devotee of Krishna.
Okay, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
So stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada
Hare
ki
Krishna.
jai.
Dandavat pranams.
See you tomorrow.